It's Kelly Bach, and I've been in Premier for, gosh, maybe 8.5 years now. And Bo, you've been in for how long?
I think I'm in my fourth year.
In your fourth year. And I want to welcome you, and I want to thank you so much for coming to listen. And it doesn't matter to us whether you are super interested in this business and you want to hear and and thinking I want to sign up. It doesn't matter whether you just want to see the jewelry. We're just glad you're here because we just really would love to be able to use you really as a referral source. And if you just came to get a discount on the jewelry, that's okay too. It's really okay with us. And but really, there's somebody in that you know in your life that after you listen to this, I hope that you listen to it with some open ears, because there will be, for sure, someone in your life that you will be able to bless. And that is why I want to be able to tell you about Premier, because it is very, very different than a very unique company, and it is unlike most all direct sales companies. I've been doing it for 8.5 years now. I chose to do it as a career. I was a computer programmer for, gosh, almost 20 years, and had a great job, and I loved it. But I just, that whole going 9 to 5 and really working for someone else, and I really love this because I feel like I have my life back. So it really has been a huge, huge blessing for me, and that's why we want to be able to share it, because there's always somebody out there that might need this. So I just want to thank you so much for your time. I know that your time is valuable, and I just hope that you get something out of it. In your packets, there you can follow along with some of the things, but you will see this little booklet, and I'm pretty much going to follow it. I'll go through some of the other ones. I'll have you pull them out as you need them, but I'm pretty much going to follow this. How many of you have been a hostess before? And then, and how many of you have never even seen Premier before? Okay. Well, Premier Designs is it's high fashion jewelry, and it really was started for a very different reason. The owners, Andy and Joan Horner, Joan is now not with us anymore. And when they started this business, they were 65 years old, and they were multimillionaires. So they did not start Premier to gain their millions. They were millionaires, and they created Premier to be able to give back. And that is not really, I don't think any other direct sales company started for that. Most companies, like anything, want to make money, right? Doesn't matter whether it's Walmart, McDonald's, Southwest Airlines. They all start to make money, and Premier didn't, and that's why there's going to be some major differences. So you know what? You might have a friend that maybe has tried something else and it did not succeed, and they think that everything is all the same. And that's why we really want you to understand what we do, because you might have a friend that says, oh, I tried this and I tried that, and they may have tried like 5 other things and it's not working, and they're going to assume that this is the same. So what you can do for Bo is understand this. I don't know, what were you saying before I came about referring a plumber or a painter or something?
Right. I mean, I hope you guys all understand I didn't invite you here to sign you up as jewelry ladies. I more want you as my referral team, and I think you guys all have, you're out there and you talk to women. You're not shy, you're not sitting at home, and I respect all of you for everything you do so differently. And Bessie, I see, she does some very unique things with animal, what would you say,
Well, animal rescue.
Yes, animal rescue and animal rights. And so I know that she works at that really hard. And I know Marlena sees so many people a day, with so many women a day. I know she's in politics. That one over there knows everyone. She goes and so I wanted to try to invite people that get out there. And if you ever have someone that comes to you and says, oh, I'm in dire need of a job, or I'd like to do something that's fun, I thought, I need to have people in my referral team that know the background of what I do, not just that I do jewelry shows. And I would never refer somebody to a plumber if I didn't use that plumber. So that means I know the plumber. So you guys can't refer anyone to me if you don't know what I do. So that's the only reason I have you here tonight, is to know the behind the scenes. I just don't go out and party all the time, but I do, really. I do.
It's fun when doing your
But I'm
job is
getting
one
paid
big
for
part.
it.
Exactly.
So really, that's why I have you guys here tonight, because I just know you're out there with a lot of people and a lot of different people. So I've got a lot of different people in this room.
So thank you all really
Yes,
for coming.
thank
We
you.
really appreciate it. But anyway, I want to go through it. As I go through and explain this, I want to be able to tell you what's typical and what's different, so you can understand that. And so Premier really, it can do a lot of things for a lot of people. It can be an extra part-time job. It can be a great tax deduction. Maybe they need that. Maybe someone wants to be able to work from home that they currently can't right now. Maybe it's social. Maybe it's just girl time, being with girls. It really can be anything. So when you're thinking about people in your life, think about all the different ways that someone can be touched. But I am going to start off, why did they choose jewelry? They came up with this business and with the marketing plan, and then they chose the product. And they chose product, and I love the reason, because number one, you're a walking advertisement. So if you are selling vitamins or books or makeup or candles or all things like that, no one knows what you do. If you're walking up to get a cup of coffee and someone says, wow, I love that necklace, you can say, well, I can get it for free for you. Or you can be sitting at a baseball game and somebody says, wow, I like that necklace. Well, here, we got to talk. I can get it for you. So it opens up conversation. It's also the #1 gift item in the world. And so who doesn't love jewelry? You also don't have to have any experience at all, because it's not, you can't make somebody buy something. You don't have to sell this stuff. It's on the table. If it's priced right and she likes it, she's buying it. So really, you just have to love people and have a great heart, and you can do this job. And so the jewelry is great. It does come with a golden guarantee. And how does that help you as a businesswoman? I think customer service today is almost non-existent in a lot of areas. And it helps us to give great customer service without coming out of our pocketbook. Because if, let's just say, a stone were to fall out or a clasp were to break, you want to give great customer service and make that customer happy. Well, Premier's Golden Guarantee gives that customer a brand new piece. They don't fix it, they give you a brand new piece. And even if it was a hostess that got it for free or half price, she gets full retail credit for it. If it happens a couple years down the road, as long as it's a manufacturing defect, it's going to be replaced. If we don't have that product anymore, she gets retail credit for it, can buy anything and replace it with anything. And then in the first 60 days, they even pay for the shipping and handling. So it's free forever. It's just in the first 60 days, they even pay the $5 shipping and handling, and after that, that's all the customer pays. So it's a great program that helps you be very confident in what you're selling. And I want to be able to tell you, the first thing everybody wants to know is, how do you make money? And it's quite simple. It's 50%, and all you have to do is divide by 2, and that's easy to do. It's not a hard percentage. And so 50%, and it's also without a quota. And what I want to, has anybody known of anybody, or have any of you ever done another direct sales? Anything? Okay, well, since you haven't, I want to be able to tell you what's typical. So it's not like, okay, these companies are bad. They're not. That's what's typical. I want to show you how Premier is pretty unique. 50% is 50%. If you have a $40 item, it's going to be 20 bucks. But it's without quotas. Sometimes what companies have, well, they'll have quotas. And what that does is that, for instance, they might make, in a given month, 20% profit if you sell this much. And if you sell a little bit more, you make 25%. And if you sell a little bit more, you make 30%. This is what's typical. And usually, most all companies, the majority of them, probably about 80% of the companies, make around 25 to 30%. And Premier is 50%. And it's with no quotas. So what does a quota do? It would be like if you sold this much product and you were sitting at about right here, you're going to end up purchasing yourself, right? Because you're going to want to hit that 30%. And most likely what people do is every month they're purchasing themselves. And so their basement is getting filled and filled and filled with stuff that they don't want. They're just purchasing it so they can reach that higher level. And with Premier, we don't have this. This is non-existent. And so you could take and sell one thing all month, and you're still going to make 50%. It's a huge, huge percentage. 50%. Our average show is about $600. Now, if you take out, there's a sheet in there. I think it says, "Are you curious?" Because sometimes people just don't believe us, and we want to show you numbers. There's a sheet here. Where is it? It says, "Are you curious?" It's got a picture of a little girl on there, cute little girl. Now, these are Beau's first 10 home shows. Many times the beginning of your business. It's with family and friends, and it could be a little bit higher, but this is her average. It's $1,000 average. So look at her profit. Her profit's $500. That is well over $100 an hour. That's pretty amazing. What I want to be able to use today for you is the average in the Chicagoland area. And that's a $600 home show. So on a $600 home show, the profit is going to be $300. Okay?
I know.
What's so
She
funny?
just went, well, because her show was probably a two. How much was yours?
What was your show?
Hers was over 2,000.
2,000?
Oh yeah, hers was.
Yeah. So Bo had fun that night and made $1,000. I mean, are you serious?
Right. I know.
That's a lot of money per hour. And so, but yeah, so 50%. That's the average show. But what we do is we partner up with our hostesses, and our hostess plan really is what keeps our business going. You might have a friend that had tried something else, and they said, but I just couldn't get shows. I had my friends help me get started, and then after that, I couldn't beg anybody to have a show for me. We don't have to beg anybody to have shows because the hostess plan, as you know, is quite insane. So we partner. So basically, this is you, okay, and this is your hostess, okay. So on that $600 show, your profit is $300. You're basically sending Premier their half, right, and then you get to keep the other half, which is $300. All the taxes and all the shipping gets sent, all the shipping and handling, all that gets sent to Premier, and you're going to see why that's good later. But here's the great thing. You get paid that night. Premier trusts you enough for you to take all that money, put it in your pocket, go home, put it in the bank, and when it's time to send that show in, you send in their half. And so every night's payday. And I love that because immediate, you don't have to wait for a paycheck, every night's payday. On average, if it's 4 hours, that's $75 an hour. So just think of how many friends that you have that might have extra part-time jobs and are making, the average part-time job now is like $10 an hour. And $75 an hour, what a great increase. What about college kids coming home, having that summer job? Teachers, it's great for teachers. They're not working in the summer. What a great part-time job. So think about people like
That's
that.
what my daughter's doing this summer.
Yep. It is an awesome part-time job. And so you get $300. Now what does Premier give the hostess? The hostess gets 30% of the retail. So 30% of $600 is $180 in jewelry. That's a lot. And one of the differences that we have is in our catalog, we don't have items that are starred that says these are the items that that the hostess gets to pick out. We don't have page 12 that says this is the monthly special. It's anything. So it's anything in our catalog they get to pick, and that's awesome. Then what they do is they have 4 $25 bonus awards.
No.
And what they have is these are out there for your hostess because she's excited, she wants to get those, and she's really doing your job for you. One of them is that she keeps the date. She gets $25 in jewelry. So what does that do for you? Controls your calendar because someone's going to be less likely to reschedule. If there's $100 in pre-sales, what that is, it's going to encourage her to pass the catalog around to maybe people who can't come, right? $100 in pre-sales, and she's happy to do it. If there's 10 or more people at the show, well, here's what happens with that. Maybe 8 people are coming. She did her reminder calls the day before. 8 people are coming, and she's going to get on the phone and say, "Bring 2 friends, bring a friend," or maybe invite someone else. So she's inviting more people, which of course is going to be higher retail. And then the last one is if there's 3 or more future bookings. And many times we have hostesses that are semi-annual or annually will have a show. We get jewelry twice a year, once in January and once in July, and we have hostesses, they know that, and they book a show twice a year because they want to be on that. So that can count. So of these 25, now you're talking about $280 in jewelry. That is a lot of jewelry. It's a lot of jewelry. Now, who pays for this jewelry? Typically, in our industry, the consultant has to come up with that product and pays for it out of her own pocket. And that's generally what you see. But with Premier is they want to be able to give back. Remember, they started this business. Because they wanted to be able to help people get out of debt. They started this business because they wanted to be able to give a woman an opportunity to stay at home with their children if they chose to. And so where was I going with that?
Who pays for it?
Who pays for the jewelry? Thank you. You're paying attention. You get extra tickets. Get a little sidetracked there.
Done that all
So
the time,
who pays
shows.
for the jewelry? Who pays for that jewelry? We don't have to. But what we do is, if we don't have to pay for that jewelry, and we basically get that jewelry to give to our hostesses, that would count as income for us. You know how when you win the lottery? When's the last time you won the lottery? But if you did, you'd have to pay taxes on that, right? When you earn something, if you won a trip, you pay taxes on it. So if you earned that jewelry, you would pay taxes on it. So what Premier does, they're so clever, what they did is they said, we're going to have you pay for this jewelry, for that hostess jewelry. And what we're going to do is, of that $180, you're going to pay $8. It doesn't matter whether that show is a $1,000 show or a $100 show. You're going to pay your fee. We call it jeweler fees, $8.
Yeah. So when like this girl got like $800 on free jewelry, I paid $8.
$8 for all that. Yes.
They are pretty amazing. That.
And yeah, and each bonus, now maybe somebody will get 3 bonuses, maybe 2, maybe 1, maybe all 4. But if you get all 4, that's 3, 6, 9, 12. So 12 plus 8 is $20. So basically what's happening is for $20, you're buying that jewelry, and now it's not free, so you're not paying taxes on it. So they think of everything for you. The other benefit that our hostesses get is we get 8 items at half price. And that's awesome because I always tell my hostesses, you keep the free stuff and take the half price stuff and maybe stock up for gifts or just to have, stored away for that last minute gift. But that counts as part of the retail, so you can double dip on that. So if someone purchased maybe 3 or 4 items at half price, they also get to count that as part of the retail, and they earn 30% of that. And so let's just say that you add another $20 or so on to that, they end up with $300 in free. And the funny thing is usually the free matches your profit. I think. What is the average profit that Bo got in her first 10 shows? 508, and her average free jewelry is 484. So you see how that usually matches? So if your hostess wants to get a lot of free jewelry, that's good because you're going to make a lot of money. Right. And so that's how you make money in this, and this is how we keep our business running. We don't have to beg people to have shows. Everybody that we ask or invite to have a show, do they all say yes? No, not everybody does. It's not for everybody. But I have had people that say, no, I don't really do shows. But when they find out how much free they get, they have had them. And so, was that you? It's true. When you see how much, it's like, well, all right, I'm going to have a few girls together. That was awfully fun. The other thing that we do here at Premier Designs, which is different, is we don't lay our stuff out and just say, come and buy it. We give back. And if you've been one of Bo's shows, did you learn something? She teaches you all the different tricks on how to wear jewelry, right? And the guests love it.
Yeah.
So it's giving
These
back.
guys all
We add
know
value.
this.
Yes. She adds value. And that's what's cool. So anyway, can you imagine making 50%? Would you say that that's a pretty good deal? Can you think of anybody right now that you say, wow, I know that I can help somebody? I will let you know, 80% of the people that sell Premier have a full-time traditional job. So it's not like you have to quit your job. It's just great part-time money. And so you also can choose which days of the week that you want to work. If you never want to work a weekend, then you don't. If you only want to work Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's what you choose. Your hostesses will work when you want to work. And so that's great. When there's birthdays or important events coming up for you, you can work around your family. You can schedule this around your family, and that's an awesome thing. So that is the first way. And so basically, let's just say if you make $300 and once a week you went out and did a show. So 300, 300, 300, 300. That's $1,200. And so what I want you to think of right now, just in your mind, I'm not going to call on you, but $1,200, if you had that in your purse month after month after month after month, what would you do with it? Or if you think of a friend that maybe has bills, college dues coming up, or maybe a wedding. Think of people in your life that really could use this on top of what they're already making to make their life easier. And those are people that would be great referrals for Bo. And you know what, you're doing them a favor because they don't know about this. See, you do because you're here, because you wanted to be able to get that good discount, right? But you're here anyway, and now you know. So that's one way to make money. The other way to make money is that if you have a good deal, if you know that you can get a pair of Lucky jeans for $10, are you going to keep that to yourself or are you going to share it with your friends?
share.
You're gonna share it. You're gonna go, guess what? I just got a pair of Lucky Jeans for $10. You're gonna share it. Well, that's what we do here in this business. Usually you're not supposed to talk about how much money you make. We do, because we want to help other people. So we start sharing this. So I'm gonna use the example, this is me. And Bo is one of my hostesses and one of my friends, met her at boot camp. And so she decided she wanted to do this. This is Sheila. You know, I have signed up a lot of people. I've been in it for 8.5 years. And so there's no limit, there's no rule on how many.
I heard about the business like this 3 years before I ever had a need. I just was, I'll listen, Kelly, I'll listen. And then all of a sudden the need came up and I went, oh, I can sell jewelry. I don't have to go back and work an hourly job. So that's another good thing is you never know when you might have a need or somebody might have a need. So
Right. Life
it's always
changes.
nice to, yeah, it's always nice to have that information in the back of your head. So
Exactly, and that's what we want. We want you to have this in your back pocket, so when something does come up, you'll remember.
Yeah.
And so let's say now, Bo, let's just say there's Kathy. Who else? Laura. Okay, so she can do the same thing. This might be one of your friends. Like maybe can anybody here think of anybody that might need this? Just tell me. Just throw out a name.
Jackie.
Jackie?
Yep.
Okay. So there you go. Now what happens is that Laura might meet a few people. Kathy might meet a few people. And so let's just say this is Ann and this is Amy. Now here's an example. Say Amy goes out and she has one show, okay? And that show is a $600 show. How much money does she make?
300.
300. And so she makes 300, and then she sends 300 to Premier. Now she might make less than 300 if she chooses to give a discount, but you always send the half to Premier, and that's what we call it CV, and it stands for commission volume. And what that is that, so Amy takes that and she's got $300 in her pocket, and what we have is we have our 10, 10, 10 program. Super simple. This is highly unusual. Highly unusual. Maybe a typical, our industry has about a 7% payout, and then a 3%, and then nothing. This is much, much more typical. 10%, 3 levels deep, is unheard of. So, Amy or Ann goes out, they have a show, it's 300. So basically 10% of 300 is 30 bucks. So Kathy, you're gonna get 30 bucks sent to you from Premier. Bo is gonna get 30 bucks sent from Premier, and I'm gonna get 30 bucks sent to Premier. Now this is every single month, on the 10th of the month. All the people on your team, 3 levels deep, for every show they do. So you can just do the math. If you're just kind of adding up, you know, what happens if Ann decides she wants to do 3 shows, right? And that was 3, 6, 9, 12, right? That was $1,200. So 10% of that's 120. What if Amy decided she wanted to make 1,200? Well, 10% of that's 120. So you can start adding it up and see very quickly that this can be very serious money. Very serious
And
money.
how many people do you have in your team, Kelly?
I have close to 200.
200 people on her team.
And so what they say is you can multiply that times $50 for each jeweler on your team, and that's your monthly paycheck. And so that's pretty awesome. It's great. And because not everybody works, some people work a lot more, and some people come in and maybe don't do hardly anything. If you don't do any shows, you make 0 money, and you're not going to get in trouble. That's the other thing I want to tell you is that a lot of companies, you have to stay active. And so what happens is that to stay active, they have to purchase. And so their basement gets filled and filled. It's kind of like those quotas, filled and filled and filled and filled, and their basement is filled with all this stuff, collecting dust, and that's called inventory. And the reason they have inventory is because they have quotas, monthly quotas to stay active, and we don't. And so that's the great thing.
That's a good thing why Corey can do it. Corey just does it
Exactly.
a few months, and then she goes to school, and they never hear from her again. They don't care.
Yeah, 9 months she didn't submit
Yeah,
one
they don't
show.
care.
And you know what? In most direct sales companies, she would get booted out.
Yeah.
And otherwise she would have to keep purchasing. And that's why I think a lot of people, so there might be some friends of yours that you know of that have tried something that didn't work, and they may be afraid for you to even listen about this because they don't know that portion of it.
And teachers, I think it's great for. The
Yes.
teachers would just listen because sometimes they want extra money in the summer, and all they have to do is 5 or 6 in the summer,
Yeah,
I have a little bit of extra money.
absolutely.
So, like vacation money.
Yeah, and even it's great too, just before Christmas, you could do a few extra shows.
Yeah.
But most people tend to just do a few each month, and there's people that do 10 each month because they completely can replace their job and they love the fact that they can, work on their own hours. But this is just really an amazing thing. And the other thing that's out there that we don't do is what's called a breakaway. And Bo's doing awesome. She does a lot of shows and she sponsors people. And so typically what would happen is that she would break off and she would be a unit manager or whatever it is, the title that she would get. And so no longer would I get paid from all these people. And so I am so thankful that we don't have that, because if we did, human nature would be to maybe, I want to help Bo succeed, but I don't want her to help her succeed so much that I lose all her people. And so we are women empowering women, and it pays for us to make sure that you succeed. And so that's a great thing. So we don't have that. This stays here, and everybody gets paid forever. So does this make sense? You guys got that? That's called, and that's in the book. If you look later, I don't know what I did with my little catalog thing. I'll steal yours. I always misplace things. But basically what I just went over was how do I make money? That was the 50%. This bottom portion over here explained the hostess plan. And then with the circles on here, that's what I just showed you right now. And so that's the great thing. And so what I'd like you to do quickly, and it may not, it's not like I said, we're not here to say, let's sign you up, but I want to go through a little exercise, because this might be something that maybe a friend of yours that you're thinking of might say, gosh, there's just no way I could get started. So I want to go through this little exercise. There's a sheet of paper that looks like this.
I didn't fold it.
Oh, just fold it like how I have it folded, just so you're not looking at the other side. And what I want to do is that when we help your friend get started, we help her and we give her a training show. And this is also not normal. So what happens is the training show is where, if you decided to do this or your friend did, they would go out and help the new jeweler get started, do the show for them. The new jeweler is the hostess, where she gets all that free jewelry, but she also gets the profit that night. But her sponsor does the show for her, so she learns it. And that's pretty amazing, because that doesn't happen all the time. And what Premier does is they say, you know what, we're going to pay that sponsor $200 cash for going out and doing that training show for her. So we do that, and then there's contests. How many of you are competitive? Do you like contests? Well, there's a lot of people that are, and a brand new jeweler they love the money, but what they love sometimes even more is more jewelry. And so we have these contests, and one of them is called Quick Start. And what we do is we just give them motivation and incentive to get started. So the training show is the very, very beginning. And then usually the next thing we do is we have what's called a practice show. And we usually go with the jeweler too, but then she is actually doing it and we're watching her. So it's really a great way to get someone started, so they're not feeling like they're out there. We always say you're in this business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that's why we do that. So what I want to do is write down 9 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so just kind of go through and just think of, if you want to fill this out, great, but just think of these people in your life, because I want to show you how easy it is. Maybe your mom or your mother-in-law. Would she do a show? Just put her in there. If she won't, or if she's not around here, then don't put her down, because she's not here. But we'll put somebody else down. Maybe a sister, okay, or a sister-in-law, and maybe an aunt or somebody. So you have all these family members that you can start off with and start thinking of. Maybe a family friend. Everybody has a family friend. Maybe a neighbor. Jot down a neighbor's name. A coworker or a spouse's coworker. Kids' friends' mom, right? The baseball moms. There's always, more people that you know. So you have a coworker. You have, the baseball moms. Oops, can't spell baseball. Maybe a church group, right? Or bunco, right? Church, bunco.
Church, bunco, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Workout group, maybe your workout group. That's where I met Bo at boot camp. Okay. And then someone who owes you a favor. There's always somebody who owes you a favor.
Yes, there is.
But the reason I say this is because so many times there might be a friend of yours that says, I don't know who can help me get started. There are so many people. All you have to do is just be a little bit creative and helping them get past that. But now what's going to happen is that if you open this up, it shows, in general, each one of these are going to get $300 in free jewelry. Okay? Free jewelry. So not only are they going to help that new jeweler get started because they love her and they want to help her build her business, they are getting free jewelry for it, so they're happy to do it. And so what's going to happen with you?
My first 10 got a lot.
Yes. $300. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because it was the training show and then 9 others. The reason I wrote 9 is because when you have your training show, let's say that you started June 1st. What Premier does is they say, you know what, that was your training show. Let's count out 45 days. So that would be around July 15th. So between June 1st and July 15th, if the new jeweler did 6 shows, she would get $200 in a jewelry certificate where she could pick out $200 in free jewelry. And if she did 9, she would get $300. And so that's just the beginning of one. And did you get that?
Yes, she did.
That's just the beginning of the contest. There's a ton more. I'm not going to go over them, but I will tell you that in the first 8 months of me being a jeweler, 8 months, I earned $5,000 in free jewelry. There are a ton of contests that you can get. So after my initial kit, I pretty much never bought jewelry again because I got it all for free. So that's a great thing too. And just think about this. After 4 shows, that's $1,200. Now, Bo's not normal.
We all know
We
that.
know that. But in her first 10 home shows, let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it took her 3 shows. 3 shows, and she made her first $1,200. But I just wanted to be able to show you how easy it is to get started, and we help you. And then after this, it's not like you say, oh, I ran out of friends, now what do I do? Remember, we talked about that hostess plan. It's huge. That hostess plan is amazing. And people you'll start getting out of your circle of friends, and then it's, the neighbor books a show, and somebody from her work came, and then all of a sudden, you're doing shows for everybody. And so there's no need to worry about how am I going to start my business. This is how that works. So now that you see how simple it is, it's like, great, this is great. I never realized, this was so good. I'm interested. How do I get started? This is also very unique and very, very different than most. Lots of times you will find in our industry, oh, sign up for $10, or you can get all this and start for $100. So people flock to that because they want to say, wow, only $100. And so what Premier does is we don't nickel and dime you later. They want to help people get started in this. So what they do is they do these services for you in bulk. And this is absolutely amazing. Basically, it's $45 for training materials. Okay, that's basically, you're going to get catalogs, order forms, all kinds of stuff for your first 10 or 12 shows or so. And then every single year, it's not a startup, every single year you get to pay $350. Now, did you notice I said you get to pay $350? I really truly mean that. Because if you didn't pay this, it's going to be thousands. And I'll tell you why. Because these are services that Premier does for you that you would otherwise have to do yourself. And I absolutely love this. So for example, it's kind of like you're the CEO of your own company, and you have, well, the first one was a training department, okay, so there's your training department. And then you have your shipping department. What I love about this is how many of you have ever ordered online? Anything, a book, anything, right? You buy something for $13.95 and shipping is $6.95, and you're like, you don't even really realize it. But if you counted up all the shipping throughout the year, maybe especially Christmas, if you do online shopping, you would be in the fetal position in the corner. Like, I mean, seriously, if you actually add it up, it could be hundreds and thousands of dollars. We get free shipping, and that's what they do. They're small, very minimal orders, and all the jewelry, all the order forms, everything that we need for our business, we don't pay for shipping. Those catalogs, it costs, I think, $40 to ship a case of catalogs. We don't pay for that. So that is absolutely an unbelievable service. Another service that we get, it's like we get our own accountants. Remember all those people, like on my team, that I don't have to see who did what. They just send me a report with everybody's shows on there so I can help them meet their goals, and they send me a check. I don't have to do all that. That's amazing. The other thing is, remember we talked about in the beginning that when we collect the money, all the shipping goes to Premier? Well, we don't have to deal with the taxes. My tax accountant would pay $60 a month times 12 months. Charge, I'm sorry, would charge us to do the, because if you do, especially if you do, say you sell in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana, you have to do the state form, sales tax forms for all 3 states. Well, an accountant, my accountant charges $60 a month, or you could do it quarterly, and many accountants charge about $200 a quarter. So you're talking $700, $800 in fees that you would do. You know what? Premier has all these people at the home office. They do this for free for us. It's a service that they do. Well, it's actually not free. It's part of this $1 a day type thing. So you get free shipping. You get free accountant. You get a free distribution center. And what I love about this is, have you ever had a show, there's a candle company where the hostess gets a big box with an inventory list, and she has to like go, Susie ordered this, and Mary ordered this, and she has to take her time and divvy all that up. And you know what? We don't want our hostesses to work, because we want them to be excited and not have to do all that extra work. So Premier pre-packages everything and puts it really nicely, and so all the hostess has to do is hand it out. On the flip side, there are some of those companies where it comes to you as the consultant, and you have to get in your car and deliver it. Well, with the prices of gas, the amount of money that is spent on delivering is huge. So I would much rather pay $1 a day, and I don't want to have to worry about the deliveries. So that's another huge benefit. And then you basically have your IS department. You got your website, you got your customer service 800 number, that a real live person answers the phone. A real live person answers the phone. There's no voicemail. You know, where do you see that? And I love that. So it's your services. Did I forget any services? I think that's that. So when I say you get to pay $350 every year, that's an amazing thing. Because if you didn't pay that, you would have to pay for all this, and that's a lot of money. Then what they do, remember we talked about the training show where you get the free jewelry and you make all the profit? They have an annual renewal show. And at the end of the annual renewal show, you have your own show here. Usually we will have it with all the customers and hostesses and family and friends. And you get the free jewelry on that as well, and the profit. And so on an average show, if you're going to make $300, $400, profit, 300 to 400, or in Bo's case, 500, or in your case, 1,000. You're going to take that money from that, and that's what you're going to pay for that. So that is a great way. So you take that $45 plus the $350, you're getting all those services for the whole year, which is absolutely, you don't see that anywhere. You just don't. And it's a tremendous benefit. And so what that is, that's $395. The only other thing that you don't get with that is jewelry. And we have unbelievable packages. They don't make, it's not a buying club. Many, many times, companies out there, and this is important for you to understand too, because a lot of them are buying clubs. What that means is that 80% or so of the product being sold are by consultants. So you sign a consultant up, so they get the discount. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's more of a buying club. And they're also making money on that startup kit. Premier, I'm going to just tell you right away, the gold package, because that's what almost everybody gets. I would say on my team, 99% of the people that I've signed up, one person, actually 2 people now, just 2 people got the silver kit, and I've signed up hundreds of people on my team. So there's the gold package, there's the silver package, and then there's just jeweler's choice where you can just pick whatever you want. So if you do the choice one, basically they can pick whatever pieces they want at 50% off. They can pick 1 piece, 2 pieces, 0 pieces. That's what they can do. With the gold kit, they guarantee it's going to be at least $2,000 worth of jewelry. It's always 70 pieces.
And it's
Always.
always valued at more than that.
Exactly.
Like
Right now it's
2,200.
2,327
Ugh.
is what it's valued at right now. They always go over that. And then there's a $110 jewelry case with trays and ring sizers and all the stuff that comes with it. So right now you're talking, I mean, it's about $2,400 is about the value of what you're getting. And they let you get that for $750. Deep, major deep discount. So you're talking 70 pieces of jewelry for $750. It's like $10 a piece. It's absolutely insane. But they do this only when you sign up. Like, I can't get that right now, and I wish I could. But it's a great deal for brand new jewelers. So the silver kit is 40 pieces, and they guarantee that it is, nobody ever gets this on my team, so I don't even have it memorized. It's 400, it's valued, is it 600? What is this? How much? Oh, $1,200, right. It's $1,200, which is normally valued at $600, but you get to purchase it at $475. So it's not as deeply discounted. It certainly is discounted, but this one is an unbelievable deal, and most people go with that. So if you take, say you had someone that says, no, I want the gold kit, that's what most people do. So it's $750. You add this together, it's $1,145 plus tax. So with the tax, it's about $1,200. And that is coming in. And it is absolutely a non-issue. Because remember we talked about that training show? You're going to make about $300 profit. Your practice show, $300. Your mom has a show, $300. And then your sister has a show. You know, whoever. So there's your $1,200. So in your very first 1, 2, 3, 4 shows, and it may not be because it's averages. It might take you 6, it might take you 8, it might take you 3 or 2. There's been people that have done it in 1. I mean, you know, it's really, but really in about 4 shows, there you go. So it really is a non-issue. If you have somebody who really needs money and you're saying, why on earth would they do Premier? It's $1,200. It's that money is nothing, because then they are starting to make 50% every single time they go out. How quickly can they do 4 shows? I don't know. Can you do 4 shows in a week? Absolutely. It would be a week. Can you do it 4 shows in a month? Very simple. So really that is how someone would get started. And it really is an amazing thing. And that really is pretty much everything. You saw the hostess plan. You saw the 50%. You saw our amazing 10-10-10. No deliveries, no quotas, no inventory. That is just so unique. And we are just so thankful that you listened to this, because now that you have this, you can go out there and empower so many women to be able to do this. I can't imagine my life without this. I loved what I did. I was very good at what I did, and I was very highly paid for what I did. So don't discount people and you say, oh gosh, you know, their husband's a doctor, or she makes a lot of money. You know, when I left the corporate world, I was a consultant, so I wasn't on salary, but I was making $125 an hour. And I would say that that's a pretty good job. And so when people say, well, all my friends got a really good job, please don't discount them. I can't imagine my life right now without Premier. I have a daughter that's a professional athlete. I travel all over the country and the world to watch her. I have another daughter that lives out west. I can go visit her at the drop of a hat. You know, my son just got married, and you know, he went to Notre Dame. We paid cash for that with my Premier money, and Notre Dame is not an inexpensive school. So don't discount people like that. Just think of all the people that you can, maybe that need extra money, that just want a fun part-time job, students, teachers, people that are sick and tired of their job. Maybe they're driving their children to daycare and are crying because they're not there for them. So that's all. We thank you so much. Bodie, do you want to have anything to add?
No, I think you hit it all. No,
So-
I mean, I started this for fun money, and then got a need with tuition, JCA and IU, and I don't miss IU games, and I rarely I don't miss baseball games except for tonight. That's okay. So that's, I could have never went back to work and made this kind of money, and still got to do all that stuff. I would have had to work under someone, if someone had to tell me I had to be there at 9 to 5, I would have
No.
not been happy. So
Yeah.
it is. It was a blessing. I've met so many wonderful women.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of women in this room today. I wouldn't know if I didn't have
Yeah.
Premier.
So anyway, Kathy Bowe's gift to you is shopping at our cost, which you now know is 50%. And in that other room is the current line, and she's going to allow you to shop as much as you want out of the catalog. These are limited edition pieces that are deeply discounted, like crazy discount, like 90% discount.
I just don't have room. But there is catalogs in the other room if you want to look at them. For my newbie here, if she wants to see any fun things, I'll take you in another room because that's one of the fun things about Premier.
The versatility.
Room. Yes.
She's going to rock your
Oh yeah,
world.
Stephanie's out.
Yeah.
She's sick.
Oh no, Stephanie's out.
Stephanie's, she's here.
My goal with Premier is if you buy 2 to 3 pieces, you should get 5 different looks out of those.
I love Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah, she will rock your world.
I don't need to teach you how to put on a necklace, but I can teach you a bunch of
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come with the package.
No, and my Stephanie's looking a little worn. She's been around.
Stephanie needs a new dress too, by the way.
I know.